Hi everyone, welcome to Book Talks with Miss Thomas. I am Miss Thomas, and I started a video series on, different booktubers featuring wonderful books that they recommended. And this video is dedicated to a book that Erion recommended at Book Zealots. So hi everyone, and welcome to Book Talks with Miss Thomas. If you're new here, I hope that you will enjoy this video and subscribe. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So I intended this video series just to be a little tribute to the different booktubers out there who recommend really good books, because they all do. I mean, if I don't mention a booktuber, then I'm sorry, because they're all really fantastic. I'm thrilled with being a part of the booktube community, and my favorite thing about being a booktuber is learning about all the great books that are out there. And so I did a book video dedicated to a book that Kevvie recommended over on C'est Kevvie. I hope I pronounced that right. But she recommended a book called The Circular Staircase. And actually, it was so fun to do that video, to read the book that she recommended and then to do a video about it. And she replied in the comments that there was a movie version of the book called The Bat. And I did watch that just this weekend with my husband and my oldest son. And it was a lot of fun. And I loved all the costumes, and my son loved the music. So it was really interesting. And it's just been such a wonderful experience to listen to all the different opinions about books from different booktubers, and to then read the books and talk about them myself. And I'm just so thrilled to be included in that. So I want to start off. I'm going to do this video about The Noticer, which was recommended by Erion over at Book Zealots. It's Erion and Prometheus. It's a mother and son channel, and it's really fantastic. Highly recommend. But before I get into the actual book, I want to talk a little bit about how I started this series with the idea that I would just talk about different books that different booktubers recommend, because I'm so enjoying that. And initially, I really just wanted to throw some praise out there for other booktubers. All of them that I have watched have been fantastic. I can honestly say I haven't encountered a booktuber that I don't like, or that I think like, oh, they're mean or whatever. I don't think that. And occasionally I don't share the taste in books, but I still enjoy hearing about different booktubers. I mean, I love to read books, so of course, learning about other people who love to read books is going to be a fun thing. Anyway, what I want to say is that when I started out making that video about Kevvie's recommendation for The Circular Staircase, I had intended to just say great things about Kevvie and the book Kevvie recommended, and it ended up being such a big blessing to me that I almost was embarrassed. I almost felt like, wow, I hope people don't think that I made this video about Kevvie in order to get subscribers and in order to have people say, oh, this person likes Kevvie, so I'm going to subscribe to her channel, because that's not at all why I did it. But it was a really cool byproduct. I ended up, people would put on my channel in the comments, oh, I found you through Kevvie. And it was such a great thing. It was like such a cool blessing to want to bless somebody else and then have that blessing come back like way bigger than, the blessing that I gave. And so that's what I'm trying to say in a very awkward, wordy way. I don't know if I'll edit that out or not, but I just want to say that, when I tried to do this nice thing and say nice things about Kevvie, I ended up getting all these new friends in the deal. And, I got some great input and feedback from other readers and some recommendations for other books. And I ended up having a fun movie night with my husband and my older son where we watched The Bat because Kevvie recommended that. And it just turned out to be such a domino effect of blessings that I really wanted to mention that. So the way in which I tried to make a video to do a nice thing for Kevvie ended up coming back, and I got all these wonderful benefits too. It seemed appropriate to the theme of the book, The Noticer. And that's why I start with that. I just think that sometimes when life may not look like it's going the way you want it to, you can find all of these blessings if you're looking for them. And that was kind of the point of The Noticer, I think. And I want to talk about that. But before I get into that, I want to talk about something really special to me. It's a poem that my mother gave me, and it's upside down. And if you've been watching my channel, or if you know me personally, you may know that my mom died, I guess, about 2 years ago, and then my dad died shortly after that. And I actually read this poem at their memorial service. They had sort of a combined service, because during COVID, you know, we had to wait to have a service and all that. But I want to share something deeply personal about myself that I think is relevant to The Noticer, and I think it's appropriate that I share it in a video about a book that was recommended on Book Zealots. Well, Erion recommended it in a comment to me. I think she'll appreciate this story. I feel like she's a friend, even though we only know each other through YouTube. So I will share this. When I was about 15 years old, my sister was hospitalized with, it wasn't an overdose because it didn't kill her, but she took way too much PCP and ended up in the hospital. And then she ended up divorcing her husband, who was still on PCP. She joined Narcotics Anonymous, and she moved into our house with her 3-year-old son, who is now grown, and they're off living in another state. But I share that because when I was 15, you know, I struggled really hard with dyslexia, and I worked really, really hard for C's and sometimes D's in school. And, you know, I didn't feel like school came easily to me. And my older sister, you know, here she is with a drug addiction, and she had this crazy high SAT score, and she did, you know, she could just, you know, coast through school because she was really very bright. And my mom would say, well, you know, God knew what he was doing, because, you know, when you think of all the brain cells that she's killed with her drug addiction, she needed to be that smart in order to bounce back. You know, I don't really want to talk about my sister because that's her business, but I want to share that I was very bitter when I was 15 that, you know, I worked really hard for my grades in school. I tried really hard to go about doing things to be a success in school and in life. And here's this sister who, you know, in my opinion, was just throwing it all away on drugs. And then she moved in and started over when I was young. And I was pretty bitter. And I said to my mom, you know, it's not fair. I work so hard for even a C or a D, and she just coasts through life and does what she wants, and it's not fair. It's not fair. You know, typical 15-year-old. And my mother gave me this poem, and you can tell it's very 70s. It kind of dates me because it's very 70s. I've had it all this time. I've had it all these years. And I want to share it with you. And like I say, I shared it at her memorial service. And it's a poem that is deeply personal to me and deeply beautiful. And I hope that it will benefit some of you as well, because I think that's the purpose of The Noticer. And it's sort of what I'm saying about BookTube right now. It's just been such a domino effect of blessings. So let me share this poem with you, and I don't know what you will get from it, but for me, it really had a lot to do with who I am today and the way I view the world. I asked God for strength that I might achieve. I was made weak that I might learn to humbly obey. I asked for health that I might do greater things. I was given infinity that I might do better things. I asked for riches that I might be happy. I was given poverty that I might be wise. I asked for power that I might have the praise of men. I was given weakness that I might feel the need of God. I asked for all things that I might enjoy life. I was given life that I might enjoy all things. I got nothing that I asked for, but everything I had hoped for. Almost despite myself, my unspoken prayers were answered. I am among all men most richly blessed. And that's just something that's been very special to me all my life. And I want to share that because I feel like it's sort of like an anthem for me in my life. You know, I wanted to do this thing to be a blessing to Kevvie, another booktuber, and I ended up making all these new friends and getting new subscribers, and that wasn't my intent, but I think that's the way that blessings are. They tend to be reciprocal. And that said, I want to talk about The Noticer, which was recommended in a comment. I think I was probably talking about the 5 people you meet in heaven, or maybe the next people you meet in heaven, one of the Mitch Albom books, because I love the 5 people you meet in heaven. So I'm pretty sure it was that book or something in those lines where Erion said, you would probably like The Noticer. And so because I have a lot of respect for Erion and the books that she recommends, I went out and I got The Noticer, and I loved it, of course. So it took me maybe a few hours to read. It was a very quick, light read in one sense, but it was also a very deep read in another sense. So The Noticer is, it begins with a guy who's really miserable and he's living under a pier, and, you know, a pier like at the beach, and he's living underneath and just sort of living off whatever he can find or even steal. And this man out of nowhere comes up to him and says, you know, hey, can I have one of those sodas? I know you took them from somebody else's fridge, so can I have one? And for some reason, he gives the guy a soda and they start talking. And then, I don't know, the man, the noticer, as he's having the soda with him, he gives him some life advice and he drops off some books and says, well, his first one book, and he says, here, why don't you read this? And so the guy reads the book, and then it changes his life. And so he starts trying to improve his life, and slowly and steadily he does. He goes from the guy living under the pier to this big success, and he's married and he has a home. And occasionally he runs into this noticer, right? The noticer's name is Jones. He just goes by Jones, not Mr. Jones, but just Jones. And so he becomes friends like with the noticer, but the noticer is just this man that appears on occasion. We don't know where he lives. We don't know, you know, where he's from. We don't even know how old he is. He just shows up. And then throughout the book, he pops into other people's lives at their darkest moments. And, you know, he says or does something to change their lives. He gives this one couple advice when they're on the brink of divorce. And he just pops into, there's another guy who cheats a lot of people and cuts a lot of corners, and the noticer just shows up and has this conversation with him where this man sees how wrong he is in the way he's been doing business, and he wants to change. And so the book is just about various people and various little anecdotes and how their lives are changed by Jones, the noticer. And I think Jones is, in my opinion, like an angel. You know, he just shows up and he talks to people and he changes their hearts and he changes their lives. And he doesn't really have an age. He just, because there's young people who say that, you know, he has like gray hair and blue eyes. And then there's older people who, oh yeah, he even looked like that when I was a kid. So to me, he's like an angel. And it's just about the various conversations that he has with various people and the impact, the beautiful impact that he has on their lives. And I just, I don't know, I wanted to share that especially today because I'm feeling like we can all have that impact on each other. And I definitely feel like the booktubers that I've encountered have had a beautiful impact on my life. I consider myself really blessed to have met so many great readers and to learn about so many great books and great people. And so I had originally said this was going to be a series, a 3-part series. I talked about a book recommended by Kevvie, and this one is recommended by Erion. But I think I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing just occasionally as I encounter a book that was really good, that was recommended to me by someone. I want to get on here and say thank you, because I feel like we should be grateful and we should be building each other up. And I'm just so pleased to be a part of a community that does that. So thank you for sticking with me. I hope something I said resonates with you, and, you're enjoying your books and you are staying safe and warm during this difficult time, and that you continue to read. Bye-bye.